by the rivers of Babylon. Yeah, we sat down and we cried when we remembered Jerusalem. We were sick, Lord, near to dying. Oh,
He could put it in the chat. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom lakol. Hoping everyone is well. We're going to get into this Hebrew lesson for today. We started past tense for the last few weeks. We're going to do a quick review, starting with the numbers. Like I said, we're going to do a review so we can get these things. We're going to start with the feminine numbers. We're going to count to 10 in feminine. Achat, Shatayim, Shalosh, Arba, Chamesh, Shesh, Sheva, Shmone, Tesha, and Eseh. And in the masculine is Echad, Shanayim, Shalosha, Arba'a, Chamisha, Shisha, Shiva, Shmona, Tisha, and Asar, or Asara. And then, of course, we're jumping back to the feminine when we go to the higher numbers from 11 to 20 with, what is it? Achad Esre, Shtayim Esre, Shalosh Esre, Arba Esre, Chamesh Esre, Shes Esre, Shiva Esre, Shmona Esre, Tisha Esre, and Esrim. And in the masculine, Echad Asar, Shanayim Asar, Shalosha Asar, Arba'a Asar, Chamisha Asar, Shisha Asar, Shiva Asar, Shemona Asar, Tisha Asar, with Esrim. And they just keep going higher and higher. Once you get to Esrim, of course you do Esrim with Echad, Esrim with Shanayim, Esrim with Shalosha. And then we go from 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 20 is Esrim, 30 is Shaloshim, 40 is Arba'im, 50 is Chamishim, 60 is Shishim, 70 is Shivim, 80 is Shemonim, 90 is Tishim, and 100 is Me'ah. So if I said 135, that would be Me'ah, Shloshim, Chamesh, right? You just got to keep studying them. We went over Yeshli, which is I have, and Ainli, I do not have. We were studying, what else did we go over? Some of the pronouns. The pronouns, ani, ata, at. Ani is I, ata is you, speaking to a male singular. So if I'm speaking to Chief Ooze, I would say, atatov. Are you okay? Are you good? And he would respond, ani tov. At tova, she said, yes, I'm good. So ani is I, ata is you, at is you, feminine. And then we have hu, which is he. We have he, which is she. We have anachnu, which is we. Atem is you, masculine. Aten is you, feminine, plural. What do you mean? Kulam. Everyone? Or kulanu or kulam? So again, we have anachnu, atem, aten, hem, and hain. Hem is sometimes hema, and hain is sometimes hena. Okay? So let's get into today's lesson. We were doing, well, let's review past tense. How many conjugations are in the past tense? 9 conjugations. Don't forget that. You can use these 9 conjugations on any verb in the past tense. If you look in the 201 or even a 501 Hebrew verbs, you see the breakdown of the past tense. It doesn't matter what verb you use, you're always going to see ti, ta, te, the root word, he, nu, tem, ten, and u. These are all suffixes. The only one that does not have a suffix is he. That's third person, masculine singular. He. Everyone else, ti, ta, te, he, nu, tem, and u are all suffixes. And let's go to the slide so we could look at this stuff. Is that TV on? Can they see us online? They see the lesson online? All right, he's hooking it up right now. Okay, great. So today's lesson is basically we're going to be doing Hebrew past tense and present tense and how to use them in sentences, because the goal is to start using this stuff, to start speaking it. But you have to know how to use it and what you're saying, right? So this is the personal pronouns we just went over. And for those of you who are at home, you should take a snapshot of this list. We have the English, the Hebrew, and a transliteration for those of you who do not know how to read the Hebrew or just learning how to read. So you have ani, ata, at, hu, he, anachnu, atem, aten, hem, hema, and hein, and hena. These are the personal pronouns. Now you also have another set of pronouns which we call object pronouns. And we'll talk about that another day. But I'll give you this is ani, ata, at, hu, he. The object pronouns sound like this. Ot, which is me, the opposite of I. So you're saying me, ot. Otka, which is you. Ota, which is you, feminine. And then we have oto first, which is him or it. We have ota, which is her or it. And then the plural side, you have otanu, which is us. Otam, otan. Etchem, etken, and otam and otan. So that's the object pronouns. We'll get into that another day, but I just want to let you hear what it sounds like. So this is the personal pronouns. Like if I'm saying, basically when we're praying, right? A lot of the times you're going to hear the word otka, because you got to know how to use you and you. We know ata means you, but otka also means you. So it's grammatically correct when you it could be incorrect or correct between ata and otka. And once you start to learn what it is, then I'll explain what an object pronoun is versus a personal pronoun. We'll get into that, because you can't use ata all of the time in a sentence. Like, I see you. Ani ro'e ata. You could say, ani ro'e otka. I hear you. Ani shomea otka. Versus ani shomea ata. And I'll show you how to use them. Okay, so again, remember, all the prefixes, these are all prefixes. I'm sorry, I said prefixes? No, these are suffixes. I put prefixes. That is a typo. Those of you online, these are not prefixes, they're suffixes. I'm sorry. The only one that is not. Yeah, let me see. Is it going to let me? Just go into the. It's not going to let me. Just come out of the slideshow and then edit it. Yeah. Then go back to the slideshow. Yeah. It's not going to let me edit right here. Yeah, it's not going to let me edit. But these are suffixes. For those of you listening, these are suffixes. And these are the 9 suffixes. T, ta, te, root word, he, nu, tem, ten, u. See, now I put the right one on here. Example on how to use the suffixes with the verb katav. So our verb katav means write. Liktov means to write. You remember what is liktov? No, but what is it? Katav is the verb. Liktov is our infinitive. Thank you, Kayil. The infinitive. Remember, the infinitive of the verb always starts with a lamed. It's to do something, to eat, to read, to write, to run. It always starts with a lamed. So katav is our verb. That's our 3-letter verb. Kaf, tav, ve means write. Liktov means to write. Okay, so here we have the list. We have I wrote, you wrote, masculine singular. You wrote, feminine singular. He wrote, she wrote, we wrote, you wrote, masculine plural. You wrote, feminine plural, and they wrote. Now, the thing with they, everyone look at they. They wrote, we have katvu. How would you know who you're speaking of? Because if I'm speaking about men, I'm going to say hem katvu. If I'm speaking about women, I'm going to say hen katvu. Right? So using the pronouns are very important. I always want y'all to use the pronouns. So for instance, on the Hebrew side, in the middle category, right, where it says Hebrew, when y'all telling me this stuff, I want y'all to say ani katavti. It sounds redundant because if you just say katavti, it's still I wrote. But I want you to get comfortable with using the pronouns. Because ani means I. Right, but katavti means I also. I wrote. Ani katavti. Ata katavta. At katavte. Hu katav. He katva. Anachnu katavnu. Atem katavtem. Aten katavten. And hem katvu or hen katvu. You understand? So if you can't read the Hebrew, the transliteration is on the right side. Any questions on this right here? Okay, good. So now, here's the thing. You're going to encounter so many different verbs. The verbs that I chose, they follow the sound pattern o-eh, o-eh-et, o-im, o-ot in the present tense. Remember, the present tense only has 4 conjugations, not like the past tense. The past tense has 9. Okay? But remember, I only chose the simple verbs. They call them pa'a or a'a verbs. That means for this verb, the katav, kaf, tav, and veit are all, you can hear every, how do I want to put it? Every letter is pronounced in the conjugation. And that's not the case with every verb. So katav is a simple verb. So remember, we are only focusing on the words that have the sound pattern o-eh, o-eh-et, o-im, and o-ot. And all of this is going to make sense in 2 seconds. So now, I separated it in 4 categories. We have from right to left, the top right, we have masculine singular. Left, we have feminine singular. The bottom right, masculine plural and feminine plural. These are the 4 conjugations in the present tense. And the sound pattern is o-eh, o-eh-et, o-im, o-ot. O-eh, o-eh-et, o-im, o-ot. O-eh, o-eh-et, o-im, o-ot. O-eh is masculine singular. O'et is feminine singular. O'im is masculine plural. And o'ot is feminine plural. Now, what does this mean? We don't know what you're talking about. You're just saying random sounds. So this is what it is. I'm going to break it down in the next slide. But for every category, you can use 3 pronouns. So, Elimelech, you're going to do the first one. I want you to take the word lamad, to learn or to study. Lamed, mem, dalet. And I want you to use the 3 pronouns and conjugate it in the masculine singular. Come. Hine. And use the pronouns. Each pronoun.
What do you mean?
I want you to use each pronoun. You see you have 3 pronouns there. For the masculine singular, top right, and conjugate the verb lamad.
Okay.
You want me to do the first one? Let me do the first one. You want to do the first one? Okay, Hifziriya, come.
You want a full sentence or just the
No.
2? Ani lomed, ata lomed, hu lomed.
Right. So for every category, you can use 3 pronouns. Remember, this is masculine singular. So you can't use anachnu because you're talking about one person. So you have ani, which is singular, ata, which is singular, and hu, which is singular. The verb is lamad, right? So to conjugate this in the masculine singular is we're going to use that sound o-e, lomed. You get it? O-e, lomed. So ani lomed, ata lomed, and hu lomed. Again, ani lomed, ata lomed, and hu lomed. I am studying, you are studying, he is studying or learning. Feminine singular, we have ani. Hold on 1 second. Feminine singular, the sound pattern is o-e-et. Males cannot be o-e-et. That's feminine. So women can say ani because ani has no gender. Remember, ani has no gender. So ani lomeret, at lomeret, he lomeret. The masculine plural, the sound pattern is oim.
Am I saying this right?
Say that again.
Ani
Me oberet. What is that verb?
how you say child?
Me uberet. Me uberet. Me uberet. Yeah, but that I found that that's not correct. The correct is beherayon, to be with child. Right, but we've been using that for years. Me uberet to mean pregnant. Beherayon is basically it's grammatically correct. All right, so the masculine plural is oim. Remember, once you get into the masculine, then you have to change it. So, anachnu lomdim. Atem lomdim. Hem lomdim. Right? The last one is the feminine plural o'ot. It gives that sound pattern. So now we take that same verb, lamad, and we change it to lomdot. Anachnu lomdot. And that is for women. Aten lomdot and hen lomdot. So we have lomed, lomedet, lomdim, lomdot. And everyone online, everyone in this class right now, this is a crash course. There are rules to this. There are rules to this. It's rules that you must learn. What I'm doing here is giving y'all a crash course. So I'm not teaching y'all all the rules. I can give you all the rules, but it's something that you really have to study. Okay, so we have lomed, lomedet, lomdim, lomdot. Okay, so now here's a verb. Our verb katav. And remember, this is the present tense. They call this the now because it's happening right now.
You see, oh, okay, that's what I was just ready to say. I was going to say that because I thought it was N-O-U-N. That's not the noun that you use.
No. So this is the now. Right now, what's happening right now is the present tense. We did the past tense, and that's what we call the perfect because it's done already. We can't change it. Now, what we're going to do at the end of this class, before Kita is over, I actually created some sentences so I could see how to use them. So, again, the top right, we have the verb katav, and we conjugated it into a usable form. Using that same sound pattern, o-e, we get kotev. On the left, the top left, we have the feminine singular, and that sound pattern is o-e-et, and we get kotevet. Kotev, kotevet. The bottom right, we have the oim sound pattern. Using the same verb katav, we get kotvim. And on the bottom left, we have the sound pattern oot, kotvot. And that is feminine plural. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 3 pronouns for each of these categories. Ani kotev, ata kotev, hu kotev. Ani kotevet, at kotevet, and he kotevet. Anachnu kotvim, atem kotvim, hem kotvim. Anachnu kotvot, aten kotvot, and hen kotvot. Right? So now, I want y'all to look at this pattern, right? So the verb is katav. If you take away the wow out of the first one, kotev, you see the verb, kaf, tav, vet. You see the verb in each one of these, kaf, tav, and vet, kaf, tav, and vet. So if we took a verb, let's just say, yashav. Yashav means sit. Sit or to dwell. Right? It's like one of the portions that we do. It's called Wayeshev. Now, it said Wayeshev, and he dwelt. He didn't sit. He dwelt in the land. But it's the same verb. Yashav means to sit or to dwell. So, yes, question. You want to do it? Okay. So, the infinitive for Yashav is a little different because you take the yod off and you get lashevet. Lashevet. Elimelech is going to do Yashav. Come to the mic. That's a command form. That's a command form to sit.
Yoshev, Yoshevet, Yoshvim, Yoshvot.
Now use all the pronouns for each one.
Ata Yoshev, Siga, Ani, Yoshev, Ata Yoshev, and At Yoshev. Oh, Siga. Hu Yoshev.
Right. Remember, this is masculine singular. So now what are the pronouns for masculine singular? We have ani, ata, and hu. What are the pronouns for feminine singular? Ani, at, and he. What are the pronouns for masculine plural? Anachnu, atem, and hem. What are the pronouns for feminine plural? Anachnu, aten, and hen. So ani kotev, ata kotev, hu kotev, ani kotevet, at kotevet, he kotevet. Anachnu kotvim, atem kotvim, hem kotvim. Anachnu kotvot, aten kotvot, and hen kotvot. Understand? And we could do that with any verb. any verb, any of the verbs, because every verb is not going to fit this sound pattern, the o-e, o-e-e, o-im, o-ot. What we're doing is we're focusing on these pa'al verbs, the verbs. And then we'll get into a verb like shama, which means to hear or listen. And then it's a different sound pattern. It's shome'a or e'a. Shome'a, shoma'at, shom'im, shom'ot. So different verbs that end different ways, like you have a different sound pattern for verbs that end in ayin, different sound pattern for verbs that end in aleph and end in hey. Some of them are different. Okay? So not every verb, and I'm telling y'all this now, there's always an exception to the rule in Hebrew. All right? So, okay, yeah, that was the end of the slide. So let me jump into the some sentences now. I'm gonna disconnect this, Chief, and I'm gonna go to the matter of fact, we can do with this one right here. I wrote, but now I'm writing. So for those of you who was studying the past tense with us, now you get to see how you're using this, the past tense and the present tense. I wrote, but now I'm writing. Can they see that? Oh, you took it off already?
What's that?
This. No, it's all good, because I have some sentences for them anyway. Yeah, that is a sentence. So this is one of the sentences that I just, came up with. But so I wrote, but now I'm writing. Because sometimes you did something, but now you're doing something else. Okay, so it says, hold on. No. This got mixed up. Yeah, my computer was bugging out last night, so we could turn this off. I have some sentences for everybody. Yeah, this thing was. Yeah, my computer was tweaking on me. I need to move over there. All right, so we getting everything set up right now. Any questions online? Send your questions in. So this is the sound pattern for the present tense. And remember, we're only doing certain verbs because I want y'all to remember, not every verb is going to have this sound pattern. O-e, o-e-e, o-im, o-ot. Once you learn and you get more advanced, we're going to tackle these verbs until we conquer them. And then we're going to move on to a next set of verb that is going to take on a different sound pattern. Okay? Because like I said before, looking through the 201 or the 501, I said, I have to figure this out. Because these are this way, but this verb is different. And I said, because this ends in an aleph, and then this ends in a hey, so it has a different sound pattern in the past tense. And I started looking all of this, and I was like, I just found something here. Just a little bit of studying. I just had to figure out where the pattern was. There's always a pattern in Hebrew. Once you figure out the pattern, you're good. You're good. And you can't tell me that I don't know how to conjugate a verb that ends in hey, because you know the conjugation. So, like, for instance, BINAH, which means to build, right? It comes from this root word right here, BINAH, understanding, right? BINAH is beit nun he, to build. But it ends in hey, so it doesn't have that same sound pattern in the past tense. But you get to learn all of that. And then you say, it's not, you know how we would say lamati? It's not banati, it's baniti. All the verbs that end in hey have that sound. Like, okay. So now that's when you get to learning these things, right? So baniti, banita, banit, bana, banta, right? So that's it. Just takes a little bit of studying.
So how would you say?
Say that again.
It'll come back. Like you came in and it's just jumped out. Yeah.
Okay. I gotta get me one of these, Oos.
Oh, that's because they're laughing at what I just said. That's not funny.
All right, so this is going to be our first. So for those of you online, if you can see this. Now, here we go. We went right back to the script letters. That's a bait. That's a bait. Maybe I didn't.
Which one? The one right before the alignment?
Yeah, that's a bait. Ani katavti aval akshav ani chotev. Ani katavti. Katavti is past tense. Ani katavti. I wrote. Aval. Now here we learning some new words. Aval is a preposition. It means but. Aval. Ani katavti aval akshav ani chotev. Akshav means now. Akshav. I'm doing it. Akshav.
You don't have to take pictures of this. It's going to be online.
Yeah, it's recorded. So ani katavti aval akshav ani chotev. So here we use the past tense and the present tense. I wrote, but now I'm writing. Katavti and chotev. Now, if I said we're not doing the future tense yet, but if I was, I would say ektov, because ektov means I will write. Ani katavti aval akshav ani chotev. Machar ani ektov. Tomorrow I will write. So that would be katavti, chotev, and ektov. So there's the past tense, katavti, I wrote, and chotev, writing. Here's the next one. Ata lo chotev. Ata, as a matter of fact, Mika, come up here and read this sentence, please. Because reading both the modern Hebrew, what we read in the Torah, in the books, and reading, are you trying to get pointers from someone?
No.
You focused on the sentence?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Being able to read all the scripts is very helpful for you. So it's good to learn the modern script that we read from the books, this script that we write, and also the ancient. Study all the scripts. The ancient is good to know, but we don't really use it so much, especially when writing. Go ahead.
Ata, lakon.
That's an aleph.
Lo. Kotev. Katavta. Miktav.
Amen. Does anyone know what this says? Ata is a pronoun which means you. Lo. Now, lo goes with chotev. Lo is a negation. Not. Or did not. Or are not. Ata lo chotev. You are not writing. Katavta miktav. You wrote a letter. Miktav. Now look at the word miktav. And I'm showing you something. We didn't go over this, but this is how you change a verb into a noun. When you change a verb into a noun, you add a mem in front of it. Katav means to write, but I put a mem in front of katav, made it a miktav, which is a letter. You see? Yes. So we have the same verb 3 times. We have kotev, katavta, and miktav. Atar lo kotev, katavta miktav. You did not write. I'm sorry. You are not writing, and you wrote a letter. The next one we have. Anyone want to give it a try? I'm pronouncing this. Elimelech.
He kotevet al haluach.
What does that mean?
She kotevet. She is writing on the table. Wait, what is luach?
Luach is a board, a blackboard or a board.
She is writing on the board.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, she is writing on the board because kotevet is masculine. I'm sorry, feminine singular. He, we know he means she. Okay? So if I put he kotev, you're going to be looking like, huh? That ain't right. He kotevet al haluach. She is writing on the board. She is currently, this is present tense. She is writing on the board. Al means on. Haluach. Luach means board or blackboard. Right. So ha means the board or the blackboard. He kotevet al haluach. She is writing on the board. The next one. Anybody want to give it a try? Anybody want to give it a try? Okay. Mara.
Anaknu, Quotet, Anaknu Quotet, Coat V, Kane, I see the O. Anaknu Kovim, okay. Ani, Ano. No, that's not Anoki. No. Right. Arraynu. Arraynik. No.
That 2 dots going horizontal.
Gain.
E sound. Eraniyah.
Eraniyah. Eraniyah. Okay. Torah. Eraniyah. Eat, yeet. Eraniyah, et. Yesh. Eraniyah, yeesh. Off, okay. Off. Gadol. Selakli for chopping that up.
So gadol is either big or great. It says anachnu kotvim Eraniyah yesh af gadol. What does that mean? We are writing. It says Eraniyah yesh af gadol. Eraniyah has a big nose. Af is nose. Gadol is big or great. Right? All right, the next one. Marach.
He haka la'a voda la'avod. Vehi ovedim.
Ovedet.
Ovedet.
Okay, so now what I did here is I use a different verb. We actually have two verbs in here. Can anyone point out the verb? The first and the second one, where it says halka, that is a verb. What is the verb there? Halak. Halak is the verb which means to go or to walk. And then the next word, it says, let's read it. It says, he halka la'avoda la'avod wehi ovedet. Lek is a command. That is the same verb. Lek means go. So, he halka la'avoda. She went to work. She went to work. Why did she go to work? La'avod, to work. That is the infinitive. La'avod is the infinitive. She went to work, wahi ovedet. And she is working. Now, I did that just so y'all could see the way that you use the different verbs in the different tenses. So you have an infinitive. You have the verb avoda, which means work. Yeah, the vowels helps, right? Yeah. So he halcha la'avoda la'avod wahi ovedet. She went to work, and she is working. Now, I want y'all to just look at it for a minute, because you have three verbs. You have la'avoda. Avoda means work. La'avod is to work. That's the infinitive. And ovedet is the present tense. So she is currently working. So she went to work, and now she's working. Right? She went to work to do work. That's what most people go to work for, right? Right? So I just wanted to just not trip y'all up, but just to see how you use it.
Can you do the second sentence down at the bottom?
Right. So the second sentence, the one on the bottom, it says la'avod. That is the infinitive to avad, which means avad is work. La'avod means to work. La'avod. And then it says wahi, and she, because that waw means and. Wow. The letter wow means and. So you have we, and wa. Could mean and. And sometimes u. Like if I said, Chamishim ushlosha. Chamishim is 50. Ushlosha is and 3. 53. So where is and, but it can also be we, wa, or u. So and she. Wehi ovedet. La'avod, wehi ovedet. To work, and she is working.
I don't know why we put the middle two mixed up. La'avoda or the she.
Say that again.
La'avod.
La'avod, to work.
Okay.
Wehi, and she.
Okay, she.
She is right here. He Yod Aleph. That means she. This wav means and she. Ovedet is working. Remember, there's no word for is, a, an. It's just understood. So for this sentence here, he halka la avoda, la avod wehi ovedet. So in English, if you said that in English, you have to understand that those things are understood. Hubakutz. Say that again. That's a tav. Tav. So there was a question. You say it again. You asked me, how do you say he is outside? Because we have to understand that he is understood. So who, which is he, bakutz. Who bakutz? He is outside. Right? And I have one more, and I'm going to read this one. Hen chatvu miktav aladot hakita. Hen chatvu miktav aladot hakita. Now, here's a word that we use, right? The word, this is a preposition, about. Aladot. Al-odot is 2 words. I used to think it was 1 word, but no, it's 2 words. It means about. Al-odot. It means about. Oh, I do have a pointer, actually. Let me turn my pointer on, my handy dandy pointer. Turn my handy dandy pointer on. Oh, you guys, oh, I see it up there. Oh, it doesn't work for the TV screen. Yeah, you see this?
Oh, yeah, it's not going to go on there.
Yeah, it's not going to go in there.
You could barely see it.
Yeah. So, again, hen.
Just use your stylus and just underline it.
Oh, right. Absolutely. Because I want to break this down to y'all so that we understand. Oh, I did? Oh, my bad. We back on? Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. Okay, let's see. So here we are. Let's move you out the way. So hen. Anybody know what hen is? They. Feminine. Right? That's the feminine for they. Hen. Chatvu. Wrote. They wrote. Because remember, that is they. When we do ti, ta, te, root word, hey, nu, tem, ten, and oo. Chatvu. They wrote. What did they write? A miktav. A letter. They wrote a letter. Aladot. About. Hakita. About the class. They wrote a letter about the class. Hen chatvu miktav aladot hakita. Okay, so here we have the past tense. Katvu. And then here we have the same verb that we turned into a noun by adding the mem. Miktav is a letter. And we learned a new preposition. Aladot. Al-odot, which means about. And kita, class, and ha is the class. Hen chatvut miktav aladot hakita. They wrote a letter about the class. Okay? And I just want to put this up real quick so we could, for anyone who did not get it. So if you're still having trouble with your script letters, I implore you to just take a snapshot of your screen. Can they see that up there, Oos? Okay. Because this is going to help you to recognize the letters. So when we start writing, you know, it's going to be good for your your Hebrew studies. How much time do we have? 5 minutes. Okay, so this is what I want y'all to do for homework. Everyone online, I want you to take the verb. Oh, you want to take a picture of that? Okay, 1 second. We're only going to do our verbs. Okay. Let me think of a good one. To separate. Separate. And I'm gonna write it down. Badal. Badal. Everyone got this? Can I go to the board? For what?
The word for saint. S-A-N-I-T.
What is a saint?
Like maybe Saint Thomas, Saint Anthony, Saint Peter. That's what you use.
Find it in the Torah, and then I'll give you the Hebrew equivalent. So badal is to separate. This is what I want y'all to do for homework, young men. I want y'all to write this in the past tense, in the 9 conjugations, and in the present tense. So you have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 conjugations. The 9 in the past tense and the 4 in the present tense. Everyone online. 9 in the past tense, 4 in the present tense, using what we learned today. If you need help, just go back to the tape, look it over. But that's not the end of the homework. What I want you to do is create a simple sentence using badal in the past and present tense, just like we did today. So I'll give y'all one right now. I want y'all to write all the 13 conjugations down. First the 9 in the past tense and the 4 in the present tense. And then just make 3 sentences. Make 3 sentences and try your best to add the past tense and the present tense. So, for example, I'll do one right now. Yeah, in the same sentence. Add past and present in the same sentence. Like, I'll give you one right now. This word badal means to separate. Ani bodel, I'm separating hasefarim sheli, my books. Ani bodel, hasefarim sheli. Hold on. I'm separating my books. Asher lo badalti. I'm separating my book. Hine, listen to this. So, ani bodel hasefarim sheli asher lo badalti. I'm separating my books that I did not separate. That makes sense? So that's how I want y'all to do your homework. So I said lo badalti, I did not separate. Ani bodel hasefarim sheli asher lo badalti. Asher means which or that which. So I'm separating my books that I did not separate. Ani bodel hasefarim sheli asher lo badalti. Okay, Kayil. In the same sentence. This verb? Yeah, 3 sentences. And don't use the sentence that I just gave y'all. All right? So any questions online? Any questions online? If you have any difficulties with badal is separate. And for extra credit, if you can find the infinitive. Let me see. So this verb right here. Kwadosh. Holy. Holy. Yeah. If you can, for extra credit, try to find the infinitive to this verb here. Put the what? The 9 conjugations. Oh, let me see. Do I have it in here? Because that was on a computer. Let me see. What do I have? Let's see. Yo, there's no questions online, right, Oos? Okay, cool. Oh, here we go. There's the 9 conjugations in the past tense. And this is a verb that ends in he, baka. This verb means to cry, right? To cry or to wail. And this is the past tense. Usually it would say bakati, but this is a verb that ends in he. That's why I was telling y'all, every verb is not going to be the same. So this is baka. Baka means to cry. Lama taboke. I used to ask you that when you was a baby, Elimelech. Lama taboke. Lama taboke. Why are you crying? Lama taboke. Why are you crying? So bakiti, bakita, bakit, baka, bakta, bakinu, bakitem, bakiten, and baku. You see the ti, ta, te. The root word is baka. He, nu, tem, ten, and u. Yes, the he. The last one on the left column. The he, bakta. The suffix. The he is the suffix. And then you would ask a female, Lama at boka. Why are you crying? Boke, boka. And this is another verb that doesn't follow that o et, o im, o ot. Because it's not bokeet, it's boka. Lama at boka. If you're talking to a female, you're saying, why are you crying? Lama at boka. Lama meaning why, or you could say madua. We read madua today. When those men approached Moshe and Aharon, if you were paying attention with the Hebrew reading this morning, they asked them, like, you boast yourself. I forget what they said, but they said madua something something. Basically the congregation is holy. You take too much. Yeah. Which one? That's the eh. Eh. What do you see? Baka. Baki. Bakita? Bakita. That means you cried. Masculine singular. Bakiti, I cried. All right, so we got that. I hope y'all learned something today. Past tense, present tense. Don't worry, we're going to get into past tense and present tense so much that y'all are never going to forget it. That's right. And that's why we're using it. We have to use it and create sentences and start using it, speaking it, so that we remember and retain. Bakiten. Ti, ta, te, root word. He, nu, tem, ten, and u. All right, we good to go? Hakita hazot, nigmara. Hallelujah. Okay.
Let's get knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We'll do our standing. All praises to the Most High, His laws and commandments. The hot CHOKMAH BINAH here to push it through your speakers. Judgment, truth, and love should be coming from the leaders. Yeah, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We'll do our standing. All praises to the Most High, His laws and commandments. The hot CHOKMAH BINAH here to push it through your speakers. Judgment, truth, and love should be coming from the leaders. Yeah.